Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and the Blind and the Special. Pincalo and I are here, and we will be joined shortly by Jen TMaxi and hopefully Polydub.
If Polly remembers.
Yes. Hopefully Polly will be here.
I'm gonna go get my phone and message him.
We are going to be talking about the wonderful thing that is Canadian politics.
You haven't done the link already, right?
Yes, I did.
Where?
Twitter. So it is the eve of the federal election here in Canada. And so here we are to talk about some Canadian politics with a fellow Canadian, Jen TMaxi, and a political science person. Hopefully. Hopefully.
Yeah, if I can find my phone.
Hopefully he will be here.
Where the hell did I put my phone? You call my phone? Special Peters has lost his phone.
Okay, the special has lost his phone.
Your phone.
Nope. Sounds like it's right in front of you somewhere.
It is. Buried on the chair. Buried on the ugly chair of doom. Which I should bring. Nah, too much of a pain in the ass. I'll just bring the discomfortable chair of folding.
The discomfortable chair of folding?
The discomfortable chair of folding. Kiss my ass. Ugh. Hello, world. Y'all know me. Well, if you don't, too bad. As you can see, the Simpsons have made a funny meme. It is funny. So while I try and get a hold of Polly, and I don't know where Jen went.
Oh.
Why don't you scroll through and see if you can find Miss Jen throughout this stuff? Because I don't know how this StreamYard works. Should be.
Nope.
Oh, well, turn it on.
So, we've got a few ow, that's fucking loud.
What was?
Voiceover.
Oh.
In my ear.
Jen is right here. Are you in StreamYards though? Do you have the link? Did you come to us? I don't know how this thing works. What'd I do?
What do you mean, what did you do?
That's a good question, Skep. Where's Polly? Let's find out. Why don't have missed calls? Oh, wait, you just called me. Derp. Derp, 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 derp.
Did I not send you the correct link, Jen?
Probably not, because, you're about as boomer as me. How do you message someone politely and say, get the hell in here?
Are you coming?
Did you get the link from Blindy?
He's going to go, who's Blindy?
That's better. All right. As usual. And again, this is the man whose last tweet was a day ago.
Yeah. He does think Twitter sucks.
He's harder than me to get a hold of. But we'll find out. Everyone go harass Polydub. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, while we wait for this wonderful people to show up, Jen, and it's not your fault, Jen, that blinds to the wrong link.
I don't think I did, but I'm just...
We boomered this. We had children to bathe and put into sleep, and I just came out. Well,
what?
We have 14 people in dead air. What are we doing? Killing me. You're killing me, woman. You're killing me. We're going to read a news article. God damn it.
Well, make sure you just keep an eye on the stream.
Okay. So, I sent this to Sinatra, and I was going to have him do a video on it real quick. So we're going to cover this before we do the political stuff, because I don't want to jump into that just yet without everyone else. Green leader Elizabeth May promises electoral reform. Bullshit. And lowering the age to 16? Fuck off. That's new. That's going into the pile. Holy shit. You dumb Green Party. No wonder this chart is going to make excellent sense. Kind of.
Oh, that sounds absolutely ridiculous. Lowering the voting age to
I'm
16.
going to read it because you know what? I have to. Vancouver, of course. Green leader Elizabeth May. This is the Green Party people. These are the environmentalists. Being the right part. Green leader Elizabeth May said Sunday that if her party is elected Monday, it will be the last federal government in Canada chosen by the first past the post system.
I'm sure it will.
May spent much of the last day of the federal election campaign in Vancouver dealing with weighty subjects. Besides pledging electoral reform, she spoke at a rally in the city's downtown east side calling for justice for missing and murdered Indigenous women. Grab those native votes there, Liz. You need them. But her plans to go finish up in southern Vancouver Island, believed to hold the Greens' best hope to boast their standing in the House of Commons.
From 2 seats to what?
From
4?
the 2 seats they had at the election call in September, were frustrated by bad weather that indefinitely delayed her flight. Poor Beard Berrien couldn't get to see her. He actually showed a picture of that rainfall. That's really cool, the video. Besides May's own seat of Saanich Gulf Islands, the Greens picked up Nanaimo. Those stupid layered brownie bars, Ladysmith from the New Democrats, in a by-election earlier this year, May have been going to campaign with 3 Green candidates in and around Victoria, yada yada. May said a Green government would launch Citizens' Assembly with a mandate to make recommendations to Parliament on a new electoral system based on proportional representation, which is what we already have. You fucking bitch. Canada is among the very last free and prosperous country. Calm. I'm calm.
Are you sure?
I'm calm. This is a quote. Canada is among the very last free and prosperous countries in the world still using the outdated first-past-the-post voting system. We need to change immediately to proportional representation, a system that translates all votes into representation in Parliament and doesn't classify more than half the electorate as losers unworthy of representation. The Greens also say they will lower the voting age to 16.
No, thank you.
It flies in the face of fairness that 16 and 17-year-olds are old enough to work and pay taxes, but are not allowed to vote for the government that spends that tax revenue. Lower the military age to 16 as well, then, and throw that fuckers in.
Good day, Jen. How are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I technically had 2 StreamYards up because I was like, which one is it? And it clicked up before I exited out. And
Oh, it's all good.
So are you hearing this?
yes, yep.
Did you hear about this shit? I had not heard, and like this just dropped like an hour ago, apparently. It's
so this is
CP24 article.
Okay, so what they're talking about is the Indigenous women that have been missing since Stephen Harper's time.
No, well, the ones that were recognized at the time of Harper, because
So,
but now right now we're talking about their. May wants to lower the voting age to 16.
of course she does. I mean, look at her. I mean, she goes out and gets trashed all the time. Why wouldn't she want the kids to go out and vote? Like she's just leading by example, right? So,
May also said the Green government would have Elections Canada develop a framework to fight dishonest campaign advertising, claiming that current political parties seem to be able to lie with impunity.
Including yours.
We're going to get into some lies of impunity here in a bit. I basically, Jenna, I grabbed the last bunch of articles that have been dropping this evening, and all of these. That is really horrible to have voiceover talk in the ear as you're talking. That is such a horrible interruption. That is worse than drunken uncle.
Now
Jesus.
you know how I feel when I'm trying to navigate voiceover.
You've been doing this for 3 years. No.
Well, no, you give me shit about dead air when I hear voiceover going off in this year, and then I've got chat going off in this year, and then I've got freaking gotta keep talking.
Well, I was actually thinking about that because I wanted to send out you guys some articles on like some of our history. The only thing though is it's Wikipedia. So in terms of like streams, it doesn't work as an article because it's Wikipedia. It's like every other sentence is interrupted by a reference, and it's really good. It is really good stuff. It's one of those things where like I keep referring to my dad, but the thing is my family is 8th generation Albertan. So
her family is her family are all Rhineland people. They're all Germans.
Well, yeah,
all the Germans, and they are an anchor family from the German people.
Yeah, our family came in here from like the.
Mine's just an Armenian refugee family that avoided getting slaughtered by the Turks.
So my funniness in my family is the fact that my Oma is actually Austrian too. So she came over at the end of World War II.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where she did kind of join the German club because in terms of like that, there's really, you're not going to get an Austrian club. It doesn't really happen. But yeah, like it's one of those things where like, here's my dad who's like,
isn't the Austrian club just an art club?
Pretty much. It's either art or opera. But,
oh my God, this shit is insane. Okay, I've noticed a weird trend, and I don't know if you've noticed it. Have you been paying attention to the news that's been dropping? Like just the last few hours?
As much as I can, but I've had to take breaks. Like I like this morning,
I'm just scrolling through my Twitter feed.
Yeah.
And every time I see, because I follow every one of our news outlets, and so I'm going Sun, National Post, everybody, and everyone has something more liberal than anything, and all of them have liberal thumbnails. All of them have liberal, like where is it? Where's the one I was? That's Jennifer Aniston. We don't care about Jennifer Aniston. She's a whore. Like this one, CBC. No, that's Trudeau. Of course, they're gonna have liberal signs in the background. Where was the one I saw about Scheer? Okay, so I've been seeing all this stuff. Like this one here is an interesting one. These polls, like the polls that have been dropping. That's like this one's got Trudeau at what political leaders who we like or dislike. It's insane. What we're going to look at right now is, I turned off voiceover, is Trudeau tweeted this out earlier. Are you? Yeah, you can see the screen, right? I don't know how this StreamYards thing works. She should be screen sharing.
Well, she is, but it's small, so.
Oh, it's small. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can fix that. I think I saw a way to fix that. I'm sorry, people. We're going to do the whole. We're going to try and do stream thing.
Okay.
What's this button?
Yeah, yeah, it's on the main screen now.
Hey, there we go. Did I do it better? Does that work?
Yeah, she said it.
Okay, full screen. Okay, good. So this thing is a weird one. And it's just this is all the propaganda. He said at the beginning of his campaign, I'm gonna have a smear-free, honest campaign. Bullshit.
We knew right away. When your only source of information is coming from the rebel news, you know that you're fucked.
Yeah.
That's
totally true.
I've been waiting backstage. Polly's been waiting backstage, apparently.
Is he in the wrong one too?
I think you got the wrong link. He's been waiting.
Do you see him in the...
Is it like a scroll down option? Do I have to scroll down?
I think so.
I hate Max.
Yeah, StreamYards, I'm still getting used to it. You too. It's like
I miss Hangouts. It was so much easier. I don't care what anybody says.
I think for me, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna do this on Discord, but like I don't know. Like, okay, so you found menu options. Where's the menu options that you were doing? Wait, no, here, you do it. I'm turning voiceover back on. You find Polly.
So menu options. Well, it's on your end, so I can't see it. But it's
I'm telling her. I'm telling blind. Sorry. It's gonna talk for a second, but yeah. So this whole thing, this is the propaganda going on. Like there was one that like all the stuff that he's been sending. Where was the one I sent where I called him a liar?
Were you called Trudeau a liar?
Oh yeah, I flat out, because it's what he said. Oh, there it is. Oh, here we go. He goes, Andrew
There's
Scheer
Polly.
is against gay marriage.
There's Polly.
The
Hello,
women's right-
Polly.
Polly.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for letting me in.
You're welcome.
How long have you been there?
Oh, it's just a matter of minutes, not that long.
Minutes being like minutes in the tens of minutes.
You haven't been streaming for the tens of minutes yet.
Okay, good. That's good.
We've only
Actually,
been 18 minutes, but
Close. No, I was 5 minutes or more.
oh,
that's good. How you doing? Well, welcome to being the first guests on our wonderful shit show.
Yay.
You think monkey's unprofessional? Jesus.
so yeah, we're just talking about Trudeau being
A
Oh,
miserable
lying.
fucking liar that
Yeah.
doesn't fulfill any of his campaign promises. I've done my research.
So let me tell you something. He actually was in our town the other night.
oh,
And he
Trudeau or
didn't-
Scheer?
Trudeau. And he didn't show. He went to a bar to do this, and he didn't show up until 11 o'clock at night. Nobody in the city knows about it. Like there were protests. We found out about it. So he comes in, and you can clearly see that he's high as a kite. He is absolutely baked, like he's loaded. And you know, we're all livid.
shouldn't
video?
you?
We are all livid.
Is there video? I want a link. I want to see this shit.
Shouldn't there be? Shouldn't you get high after as like a reward?
No, you see, he's one of the people, man.
So like
I
the
may
thing is,
smoke my ass up, my brain to pieces, but I at least have a functionality.
Well, I'm saying, like, come on, as a drama teacher, this guy was a long time pothead. I mean,
Oh
Jesus.
yeah.
And there's a video when the first time he ever announced on video, it sounded like a joke. Like it sounded like he was like, "Dude, I'm gonna become prime minister and make it legal."
Mm-hmm.
It was weird. He went on this platform, he got the hippie vote, and he got the stupid vote, and that's how he got in. And he's relying on the teachers.
Well, I mean, it's not. There isn't any big surprise. Like I said, I did a modicum of research, so I had some kind of like slim knowledge base to be talking from, and not just constantly referencing. Well, let's bring this back to American politics. You know,
We're going to circle about that because it's Canadian politics and there's nothing but Americans circled into it.
well, let's put a pin in that, because something that he did recently, Trudeau did recently, just smacks of this idea of pimping off of the American media awash in Canada.
Yeah.
It's like Canada does not have an assault weapon problem.
No,
It doesn't have a
No,
mass
it
shooting
does
problem.
not.
It's
I
never had a
DM'd it
mass
to you,
shooting
Ryan,
problem.
just so you know.
True.
I also put it in the chat too.
But what'd you put? The link?
The link, yeah.
That he would, what is it, 48 hours after his black/brown face problem crops up for the first time, we need to ban assault weapons here. And it's like, wait. Canada has a problem with assault weapons, and I look it up, and it's like there's a lot of owned assault weapons, especially if you consider per capita in Canada with 35 million residents.
Yeah.
It's like what are the mass shootings? And it's like I looked into it, and it's like there's the big mass shooting, the Clock Tower incident, or the Port Arthur incident of Canada is the Polytechnique École Quebec, feminist shooting. So I forget the sicko's name who actually did the shooting.
That's how little we remember this stuff, because here it's so few and far between. That I can't even remember her name. I remember it happened.
And we usually have a handgun.
We have a massive
Illegal
handgun.
Not legal handgun problem. Illegal handgun problem.
To me, it's like it smacks so obviously of what just this is my opinion only of what he was attempting to do. Look over here, dangerous thing I'm protecting you from. Assault weapons. You guys watch American media, right? These things are dangerous. They're weapons of war made for the battlefield. That's just pimping off of American media what he's doing, using it as a distraction.
His entire campaign is based upon that. Actually, his entire attack ads. If you look at what he says, like Scheer being against the right to choose and against abortion, when the whole thing is, no, he just wants to say, we're fine where we are with the laws. Nothing really needs to change. Now, apparently somebody corrected me and said there have been changes made that I didn't know about. Jen, you're a female that would know about that stuff. What has changed?
Nothing that I've heard of. Not in my town. It's still really up to you. I mean, most of us down here, I mean, sure, you've got the odd person who's just like, it's my body, my choice. But most of us are kind of like, well, if you can prevent it in the first place, you probably should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we have one clinic, I think, one clinic in London that does after 2.5, which I'm like, but like at 2, okay, good. Within, that's fine. Where we're at is fine, but these people want us to push to the same level as the U.S. because they're trying to drag us into the same political atmosphere.
Yeah.
There's it, and see, one thing that I try and do, and it doesn't work very well on YouTube a lot of the times because, no offense to anybody, but YouTube really flourishes in the environment of bad person.
Mm-hmm.
Moral high ground. These people are so fucking stupid. If only they were as smart as me. If I was Trudeau, I would be doing the exact same things that he's doing. He's getting good, shrewd political advice. It's garbage. It's bullshit. It displays an uninformed, not cynical enough electorate that they're buying it. But they're smart moves given the situation. Yeah, distract off of it. Talk about something that people fear because they're afraid, because they consume a lot of American media where, hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15s. Hell yes, we're going to take your AK-47s, and Trudeau's doing the right thing and stopping it before it starts.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like, that's a smart move. It's scumbag and transparent, but politically, it's sharp as hell. Making those kind of comments on YouTube usually don't go over very well because people start arguing like you're defending the guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm just saying if someone was paying me to give this guy political advice, I would have advised him to do something precisely like that.
Yeah.
He's going to go back, and if he, like this thing that he does, like one of the things he wants to do is increase gun control, which we already have this immaculate system where the only problem is literally illegal guns or stolen guns.
I honestly think it's a bit too strict.
It is. No. You want to go back to the long gun registry?
No.
That was strict. When we had to put rifles into ceilings because we're like, we don't want to register these. Why the fuck are we registering?
I want to be able to be like my friend who's got her own pistol. That's what I want.
We will. You just have to take. It's just a test.
You know, I caught Justin Trudeau watching because I'm a big Second Amendment supporter. I am.
Really?
I don't believe
you.
No. But on this is how you know the difference. I'm not an extremist. People that are prohibitionists are extremists. I don't believe in unfettered gun access.
No,
I don't think that most Second Amendment supporters do. There's a whole swath of people who shouldn't have guns, dishonorably discharged from the military, currently under investigation for spousal abuse, have been convicted of a felony or a violent misdemeanor. Like just the list goes on and on and on of all sorts of people
currently investigated. Like that should be a hold off until the investigation's done, then we'll look into it kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Rather than a just you've been accused, you're not allowed a gun.
But it's the restriction is okay. Well, Massachusetts has some heavy duty laws along those ways, which is what makes it such a draconian system. If you comparatively to other states, that it's that you cannot purchase any new firearms. You cannot, like during the time you're under investigation for domestic abuse, right? You are traveling to and from ranges, like having firearms, transporting firearms is now illegal, et cetera, et cetera. You are now under all these new restrictions. They haven't taken your guns from you, but you are insanely restricted in a way that nobody else is. They stop short of stealing your property.
Right.
Just stop
like
short.
That guy. Oh, did you? Damn it. I closed the article before you came on. I had it up. There was a guy, an 84-year-old crossing guard in Martha's Vineyard. He was in a restaurant talking with another elderly man, and all he said was, I've noticed that the school resource officer leaves in the middle of the day for a long time. What if there's a shooting? The waitress took the what if there's a shooting part, then called the FBI or the local police, and these guys came in and took all of this guy's guns. And they still have, and they relieved him of his crossing guard duty. They just gave him back his crossing guard job back, but they said, your guns, we're going to hold on to them still.
Didn't the article say he was a vet?
Yeah.
As well.
84-year-old Korean vet. So there's where your gun grabbing is going to come from. Red flags.
Well, so okay. Okay, I went to Trudeau's. I wanted to know his planks in his platform, right? And so I looked them up, and I had to. It turned into a rabbit hole of firearm laws in Canada, like specifically related to guns, because I want to know what the hell this meant. It's we are going to return the right to classify firearms to the RCMP where it belongs. So that led me down a rabbit hole. Now I know what all that means, and it's like, okay, wait a minute. If a firearm is currently classified as, hold on, I got to remember my terminology here, non-restricted, it could be reclassified as prohibited by law enforcement, and thus becomes an illegal item for you to hold post facto, after the fact.
If you have a non-restricted license and your gun becomes automatically restricted, even if, say, you make a modification to your gun, which then turns it into a restricted weapon, you lose the right to have that. There's no grandfather clause.
Now, this is the thing that blows my mind. Where it belongs is the clause that I cannot accept. I know enough of politics and the parliamentary system specifically to understand that you are abdicating your responsibility as for governance and for legislation by what you just said. Is it because the police are able to make ad hoc changes to the law as they see fit and then enforce those laws? That's called a police state.
Yep.
And unfortunately, because of cutbacks and regulations and stuff, that it has to end up going that way, to where the departments within the RCMP have their own minor departments that change all of these things. They've got a guy who watches all this stuff, a guy who reads on the regulations, a guy who goes, "Ooh, that bump stock. If you put that on your AR, you can't have it." So it's wrong.
I'm surprised at that. I'm surprised at him Trudeau walking back the electoral reform. And I watched this clip of him saying something that I couldn't fucking believe. This line of he's speaking in Parliament, and somebody asked him the question about, you're walking back and you're no longer going to fulfill this electoral reform that you want. And he said, "We are not going to proceed with something just to check a box on a list of campaign promises." You motherfucker, that is literally your responsibility as an elected official to do precisely what you just said you're not going to do. Just to check a box? You mean live up to your words? Why would anybody trust you to vote for you again?
That's the thing, and that's the problem. And it's just like, if you look at the polls that are coming out, especially the last 4 polls that have come out, have all been different. Not a single poll has been the same. The one big one that's been kicked around right now and is being promoted by Twitter is this one by Abacus, which they polled 2,000 people to come up with, they're pretty much neck and neck. They're 1 or 2% apart.
They being Scheer and Trudeau.
Yeah.
I'm going to copy something and paste it in the chat. It's actually got our district seats.
Oh, perfect.
Actually, can you share your screen? Is there a way to let her share her screen?
Yeah. Yeah, I can post it. Let me just.
Like, if you want to share, say you want to share something.
Yeah. So let me actually put this on my properly, because I kind of have half of my stuff saved on Internet Explorer and half of my stuff saved in like my secret Discord that I use just to save shit that I don't really want to save on my computer. There you go. So it actually covers all of them. So you can go from Quebec. It shows all the cities. It shows Ontario. So it's going to show you the first part. And then if you scroll down past the there's like 2 graphs. It kind of just shows you what's there. So like if you look, like I can show you something fairly funny. So
share.
I will share. So let's go to Alberta right now. And we're going to go to Edmonton because that's our capital. Just so you guys know, in America, if you ever want to invade Edmonton, can you just head for Strathmore?
Edmonton, Jesus. Who the hell would want to hike that far?
Well, you know what they did? They designed it in
talk
a
about-
circle. They
They
designed
think they can make it
they
to
designed their
Toronto.
roads in a circle so that anyone who's trying to get to their main parliament are so irritated by the time you reach their center city, you're just like, I want to kill the person who designed this place. Well, he's already dead, but
It's okay. Here they'll just look for the person who came up with the concept of all these fucking bike lanes. And I can't believe an article just dropped yesterday from the transportation. I can't remember what they call the guy. The municipal transportation person actually admitted once again that his plan is to eliminate cars from the city. They want everybody to take trains and automobiles and buses and bicycles, but no automobiles.
No automobiles. So they want people to ride bikes in a city, in a country that has winter for 6 months out of the year. They took
6 roads that were all 4-lane and made them 2-lane, thinking that this is going to help with climate change. Because it's all about the climate. All about the climate. Okay, back to what we were talking about. This is getting off tangent.
I hate the Greens. That's the Green Party's answer to everything.
Okay.
Climate change.
It's not about the climate. It's about the progressivism.
Yeah.
They've already stated it before in multiple speeches.
I called Scheer PC the other day. I said the PC party. Someone actually came back and had to tell me that they're not progressive. They're nowhere near progressive. Why is it you call them that?
It is an unfortunate fact that most people right now in Alberta have picked Scheer out of sheer desperation.
I see what you did there.
Well, Bernier is not a good choice.
Well, Bernier has more of the points that we actually align with. In terms of his talking points, this is the thing that I'm so mad at that party for. Because everything that he's been pushing for in the election is the stuff that we've actually been asking for. And it's probably the only time where a good lot of Quebec and Alberta and us are on the same page. And it's one of those things, if Andrew hadn't done it dirty, if he hadn't slandered the guy, because his main talking point right now is the fact that nobody talks about the immigration, which is clearly an issue in the country. Mm-hmm. And anytime, that's the slander. Anytime he brings it up, well, he's just a racist.
Well, he talked about closing that port of entry where the Nigerians keep just walking across the border in cabs.
Yeah.
He said they're going to put up, he actually stood there and said, we're going to put up a checkpoint. Mm-hmm. And we're going to say, go over there. You want to come over here, go to the port. Go over there. They're going to stop people from walking across. Then we won't have to deport 8,000 people a year, or whatever the stupid high number is we do.
The other problem with Maxime Bernier is that he speaks English about as well as May speaks French.
Yeah, I know. He also used to be a separatist. He was the original separatist.
Yes, he was.
So I think that's the thing that really that's the thing. A lot of the conservatives are old school conservatives. Like, you're looking at my dad, who's looking at Bernier, and he's just like, so who are you today? Because he does flip flop. But I think in this sense, I think he knows how desperate we are out here. Like, I'm not bringing up these numbers, but like, you really look at it, and we are effectively doing what I've been telling you guys. Like, we are getting rid of everyone in my province. That isn't
Alberta pull out. Like, Alberta's had the separatist thing since it was before 70s. Wild Roses.
Since 70s,
yeah. And it's just like Quebec. I've always looked at the Alberta one as a joke, because no offense.
How strong is Alberta separatism, secessionism, whatever.
Jen seems to. What's the answer to that one, Jen? You were saying that on Scribe's stream.
So right now, our Wild Rose leader is the one who everyone is listening to right now, because she's probably got the most concrete plan for putting everything in order to start. Mm. So what she is saying that we are going to do is something that we've talked about before, which is enacting a firewall. So right now, as it stands, we're waiting for Saskatchewan to, We have to wait until the end of the election. That's just all there is to it. We're still holding out hope, but it doesn't look good in terms of the seating. But we are going to reenact the original border around Alberta and Saskatchewan. So we're going to put the firewall around. We've already stated that we are no longer going to be paying taxes to the federal government. We're going to focus our own taxes on paying for our own programs. So we're going to be escorting out the RCMP. We are going to be escorting out the CIR, our CIA, sorry, the CAR.
No.
What?
You're talking about CSIS?
I think so.
The Canadian Central Intelligence?
Yeah. They're going to get escorted out. The thing with their police officers is if they are going to be put in a position where they're going to have to prevent us from doing what it is that we need to do, then we're going to have to escort them out as well. The thing is I don't want.
Now, how do you go about that though? You have to think about the amount, you're talking about from the perspective of Edmonton, right? Not as the perspective of Alberta as a whole. How do you push these people out when they have the artillery and they have the lawful orders which you are not abiding?
So that's going to be the hard part. So right now, our politicians are working on that part of it. So legally speaking, we are in the right to ask for a referendum. We have the majority vote in Alberta. It looks like we have it in Saskatchewan as well. So legally speaking, we can put that out there and get the ball going. The Liberals are going to fight us all the way. We are at the point where if push comes to shove, there are already people working towards defending ourselves. We're not really sure what we're going to do. We've got we've been so silenced out here, We are so silenced that the only people that you can go to are on Twitter or on Facebooks. But I know for a fact that there's probably going to be a lot of protesters in front of Parliament all across Alberta.
Yeah.
I do not doubt that you're going to see farmers with their tractors. You're going to see regular everyday people. Because the thing is if we don't stand up for our rights right now, we're just going to keep going in the same loop. And to be honest, it's not like we're saying that we're never going to contact anybody else in Canada. It's just, I think what we really need to do is we need to set up our own laws in place for ourselves. We need to build ourselves up, so we can't just constantly be using just oil as a means to defend ourselves. We need to have it in place legally in a parliament system. And to be honest, it's every province in Canada needs that right now. I realize that it's an iffy thing because you look at Nunavut and you look at the Northwest Territories. So obviously it's hard to give them the same amount of power over the rest of the country. But you guys are going to lose everybody. It's going to be a trickle down.
Yeah.
We'll see what'll happen on that. That's been a touting point since, we said, since the 70s.
Well, the thing is that I think Alberta probably has more of a right to separate than Quebec probably did.
No, I could get into the separation debate all day long. I hate talking about it because it boils my blood. I'm sorry. I'm technically a nationalist. I believe we should stay unified.
I've already told you I'm an 8th generation Calgarian. We came out here with everybody else in the very beginning. My family set up our main hospital from out of the basement. I have connections to the Lohites. My family went to war in World War II. We've shed blood just like everybody else. It's just the thing is that between Ontario and Quebec, you guys. And I'm not saying you in particular. I'm just saying in total.
I know. It's because we have the most population between both provinces. We have the highest of the population. This is the same argument. See,
that's not what I was saying. You don't understand. When you talk to people who are from Ontario and Quebec, you're just automatically, yeah, you're a Canadian. But a lot of the times when you're talking to someone who's from out west, oh, those are the other Canadians. And this is a mentality that you guys, not you particular, like you're
I still want to
nationalist.
see. I haven't seen these people because the only people I see that talk like that are when we talk about the French. That's it. Everyone else in Alberta, when we can, like all the people I know from here to ever up in North
I'm not
Ontario.
talking about Alberta. I'm talking about in Ontario and in Quebec. This is the thing. I'm speaking from interactions from both myself, my family, extended family, from people that I know who've moved out there recently because they had to. You know, our fort up north getting annihilated by fire. A lot of us have had to flee because economically we've been shut down. Financially, we've been cut. Our only voice in this country is literally the fact that we make money. And to be quite frank with you, like the minute we had it, it's been robbed. We've been robbed because what happens is Ontario and Quebec, and I mean, we have more say over it now, but Ontario and Quebec, they would just sell it to the US. They would just sell it to Europe. We didn't have any say on the prices. It was always, it was always somebody else making the say on it. So what they do is they sell it to the US, and then the US sells it back to you guys for a much more expensive price. So we're like, they do.
Kind of. Sorry, my clients are the refineries, so we have a lot of those. So, yeah, what ends up happening is the U.S. firms that buy the crude, and yeah, that's been a talking point for years. We've known about that, where we buy our own fuel that we refine. It's the stupidest cycle ever, and that's the energy minister. Like, really, if the only way that's going to be best way to handle that would be to get an Albertan in as the energy minister. Like, problem solved. Changes can be made that way. Like, if you want, like, which we had, Alberta has not been non-represented.
We have had to fight tooth and nail for every representative that we've ever had. We went from 4 to 34. Not even 30. What is it? 33? 34?
In cons, right? Like, in what aspect? Because I mean, your seats. How many seats you guys have? Has the Alberta seat count changed?
Do you want to see it? I do have it.
Has it changed? When was the last time? When was the last time that there was an increase in seats in Alberta versus an increase in seats in Ontario based upon what is it? Ours is based upon proportional population.
At this point, that's kind of part of the problem. Like, if you're going by population, like right there, you're already going by cities.
I go by municipalities, but yeah.
Yeah. So, maybe I shouldn't post that there.
I can't even find the links where you're posting these links. I've been trying to figure out where you're posting these links.
Well, they're in private chat.
There's a private chat too?
Yep.
See, I don't know anything about this shit. This is the first time I've been on this thing. Like, I don't know StreamYards and shit. Oh, you're quiet over there. What do you got?
Guy, nothing.
Are you guys from Leduc?
You guys are like into some heavy duty detail, and I'm like, oh.
Then I'm trying not to make this into a fight either because it's hard. The separatist.
I'm not. I swear to God, I'm not making this. I'm not making this a fight either. Like, up until 2 weeks ago, I was planning to make the politics about making fun of the politics.
I was the plan on this show. I don't want to make fun of shit.
I was planning to go in as Mike from Canmore. Bring up the old, slinging shit at the Liberals like we used to. Like the chicken cannon and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then I go to vote with my dad, because I wanted to pre-vote, and I went PPC because, I'm sorry, I was like the one time a French person once.
Do you like? Hold on, Jen. My question is, you voted PPC. Do you like the MP? This is the important factor that people, especially in the U.S., need to understand. We may argue and talk about Trudeau, Singh, May, and fucking Scheer. However, You have to pay. Like I'm fighting against the we're trying to knock a liberal back out and bring back a conservative that we had. We lost because of 2015. We lost our conservative or our NDP holding to the liberal holding to the liberals, and now we just want to go back to having the conservatives that were here before because they still did more for our riding.
So the thing with Bernier is I do understand the grudge that a lot of Albertans have for them. It's one of those things where Quebec hate is real up here, just as much as it's real down there. And I'm
everywhere. You should hear the newfies.
I'm just not the personality type to really hold on to that kind of stuff. Like I've always just seen Quebec as being the weird French uncle of Canada, So, like, I've always made friends wherever I was, but it's just when you know that there's a whole province that hates you for no reason, when we've never really done anything to them, and it's one of those things where, like I'm saying, it's not you guys. It's honestly just the government in Ontario. Like, they've stood between us and Quebec for, like, years. So when I see Bernier willing to have a conversation with us, I'm sitting here as somebody who is a peacekeeper saying, hey, can we let's have a conversation between you and us, because if we get together and we work out our own differences, that's an amazing thing for all of Canada. And I was happy to embrace him that way, because if he's willing to see me eye to eye as a Canadian citizen, then I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he sees what's going on in here, and he recognizes it exactly as what he's seen in Quebec. One of the people I'd like to introduce you guys to is Caligula at some point. Like, he and I were trying to do a stream together, but he's new to it, so people are kind of like, I don't really know about you. But he is the only. I say conservative, but he's more PPC. But he is the only one that I know in Quebec who's willing to be like, yeah, that's me right now. So the one thing I know about them is they're kicking out the NDP. And he said flat out, it's probably because they are racist.
Well, they're not only racist, but they're pandering. They tout every single just stupid talking point. Like, you think Trudeau?
Oh, that's you vaping.
Sorry, I'm trying to quit smoking, and like the last week, I'm like, I've got my last pack right now. I'm like, oh, don't smoke them.
Smoke them. No. What you do is, doing that is the stupidest way. Smoke them. It's good for you.
And they won't be there.
They won't be there. You won't have to fight it, and you'll be good.
Yeah.
Let's see here. The memes are hilarious. Okay, so Trudeau, the newest stuff from Mr. Trudeau. Here's the one. For a ban on military assault rifles, choose forward. Which the choose forward slogan. Polly, don't you guys have something that has to do with forward?
Here's the thing. I think about this in a lot of ways, that there are ways that marketing does count. I mean, it sells stuff and so forth, right? And I can point out examples of stuff that I am strongly in favor of, where I admit, we lost that marketing debate pretty badly. For example, pro-gun control. That makes it sound like it's actually possible. We're going to control their guns. What's the other side of the argument called? Pro-gun?
Yeah.
Like, wow, that was a huge marketing failure. No. Pro-rights is what you should have went with, or something along those lines, a constitutionalist or whatever. Take a look at both sides of the pro-life, pro-choice debate. Now, both sides are very clever there.
Oh, yeah.
If you went to a foreigner and you said, we got this huge debate over pro-life and pro-choice, and it's like, I guess I'm a centrist there. I like both those things. You don't even know what it's about. They managed to frame the entire gun control debate, as the gun control debate. No. It's the gun ownership debate, isn't it?
Yeah.
And gun control is just one side of it. When it comes to the progressive thing, the conservative. Oh, so you're a stodgy motherfucker that's stuck in the past, where these guys are progressive.
Mm.
They're moving forward to a utopian bright horizon. Well, you guys just want to stand still in the mired ugliness of the past. Lean forward is the
Yeah.
tagline for MSNBC.
That's what I thought. Like, you
That's
ain't heard
brilliant.
something.
It's like, and if you think about that, that's just real. It bugs me, but again, there's no denying that's really good. It's lean forward, like we're talking lean forward and pay attention, but also lean forward progressively,
Yeah.
like as a progressive liberal. That's just sharp. What does Fox News have until a while ago? Fair and balanced. That even makes conservatives laugh when they hear that. It's like, no, it's not. It's conservatively aimed. Conservatives missed the boat. They should have called themselves constitutionalist or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I still think with the whole Republicans, I don't think people understand the Republic part of it. Like that
I don't understand. I'm sorry, you cut out there for me.
The Republic.
The part of Republican. What's the important part of Republican that nobody pays attention to anymore? Nobody realizes
that it's a republic.
And I've known that since I was in the States watching my friends who all said, like in 2002, was it 2000? No, 2000. Sorry. Wait, when was Bush elected?
2000.
Was it
Right.
Okay. Everybody around me goes, I'm voting for Bush. I'm voting Bush. Everybody, all of my friends were all going conservative. It was nice. They were all becoming Republicans and they all wanted it. And then 9/11 happened. And then we all really went silent. Yeah. It was. Yeah.
I mean, being somebody who I'm really into that Revolutionary War period, early Republic period.
Yeah.
So I'm aware that there was, and lots of other people are, it's not just me, that there were the Democratic Republicans. That was one party at the time, who then after the Federalists and the Whigs weren't a thing, ended up splitting off into the Democrats and the Republicans, the parties that we know today. Yeah. They had internal fighting between how strong should the federal government be? Is this a republic or is this a pure Athenian style democracy? Unless you get the Democrats and the Republicans that we have up to the day. There were party switches and platform changes and stuff, but that was their, juvenile period, if you will, their formation period. You're right. They've just become names. Well, here's a marketing failure that can be put across both parties. A jackass and an elephant? The fuck? The party symbols for the Democrats and the Republicans are a donkey and an elephant? Who the fuck was in charge of this?
You want to hear a hilarious political marketing failure for Canada there, Polly?
Sure. I do actually.
In the 90s, there was kind of a split off in the Conservative Party.
Kind of like what we have right now with the PPC and the CPCs.
Yeah. However, we had the Progressive Conservatives, and then Preston Manning came up with the Conservative Reform Alliance Party.
The Conservative.
Yeah, that's a word salad. Yeah.
No. The Conservative Reform Alliance Party. Don't say it, honey. Just wait. Acronym. The Conservative Reform Alliance Party.
CRAA. Oh, right.
Yeah, they were the crap.
The crap party.
Yeah,
that's like Richard Nixon. Yeah, no, it's like I was like, what? I wasn't throwing party on there at the end. I wasn't as the final letter. I'm like CAR, and it's the car party. That just reminds me of Richard Nixon's re-election committee, the committee to re-elect the president. Creep. Your committee that was into all sorts of dirty shit, like bugging your opponent's offices at the Watergate Hotel, are actually called Creep. Okay.
Seriously, where did this train derail?
Well,
remember Hillary Clinton's logo when she was running for office? It's her turn. That was awful. But nothing was worse than, wait a minute, you've got a red arrow pointing to the right as your logo? Because it's supposed to be pointing forward, and none of you clued in. First of all, it's red and it's pointing towards the right, and you're a Democrat. Did you see the kind of contradiction here? Who the fuck made this?
Doug Ford, our premier for Ontario, he noticed something that no one else noticed about the logo for Ontario, the current logo. which is it's a trillium. It's supposed to be the trillium, the 3-leaf white thing. Well, he pointed out that it looks like 3 men in a hot tub.
Rub-a-dub-dub. 3 men in a tub.
I gotta find it. It was pointed out, and I didn't notice it until I looked at an envelope that had it. But Ontario logo.
Didn't they change the logo?
Yeah, but that's why I'm gonna go 2017.
Just this picture, like the Simpsons Trudeau image.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
the Simpsons Trudeau image.
This was beautiful. Quick. I loved that. I was like,
3 men in a hot tub.
3 men in a hot tub. I'll never look at that the same way again now.
I get the idea of there are popular politicians and politicians that are popular at the voting booth, but not popular publicly. Like Barack Obama was not popular in a lot of circles, but there's no denying he had a charisma and popularity that lasts to the day. Whereas George W. Bush, a lot of people really liked him and thought of him as a solid leader, but he never had popularity like that. And so I get that there's that aspect of it when it comes to Justin Trudeau, but I think it's more than that because it's never one thing. It's a multitude of variables, right? It's who was the prime minister? I had to look it up before Trudeau. And it's like, oh, the guy he never shut up about in the debates that I watched.
Yes, Stephen Harper. Yeah.
And that was 12 years where 8 years were, and then the last 4, we kind of went, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
It kills me how much he just endlessly brought it. Like it was always, it's like you've been in office long enough now that talking about your predecessor should be a bad look. But I don't know. It didn't really seem to be a problem.
It was more like, do you see everything that I haven't accomplished? It's all because of this guy's fault.
Well,
that's what he was trying to do. But
I think it was. I think it was also a. It was one of that. It was that, and it was also. Scheer's going to be just like Harper. You don't want that.
Well, Pugsley, I can't get this image out of my head. Have you guys seen the new Pugsley Adams stuff for the new Adams family?
Oh, I don't like the graphics on it, but yeah.
But have you seen what he looks like?
Yeah.
He looks like Scheer. Scheer looks like Pugsley Adams. Like from the Adams family.
The new...
No, just period. Andrew Scheer
looks like Pugsley Adams.
He looks like Pugsley Adams if Pugsley Adams had had grown up and decided to become a politician. He really does. And if you don't agree, you have a problem.
I don't excuse me. So Trudeau with the Simpsons imagery and I think the most far gone example of it is him on the cover of Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
With the text, why can't he be our president? And it's, oh, go fuck yourselves, you guys. Like the Rolling Stone, like this is beyond a popularity thing, which is what I'm referring to. This is a disconnect between the people that are reading your magazine and the general public at large and a whole bunch of very, very like-minded people in media.
People are looking at the endorsement from Obama as not a good thing. When if you pay attention to it, that actually hurt him a little bit because a lot of Canadians did not like Obama.
Well, especially the timing too. Like the timing was just like, oh, buddy, no, fuck you. Mm-hmm. Not like a couple days before the election. Like that's just dirty, downright dirty. But then he had Greta too, so it's like oh well, now we're distracted between an ex-U.S. president and. Swedish troll.
Well, he had so during his original campaign, he had Kathleen Wynne. Like he was on the stage with Kathleen Wynne, even when she was running, like back and forth, and you could see her whispering in his ear. And what do you expect? She's the teacher. She's the teacher's premier. Like I can't wait to see when she might actually. There's a question. Can a premier run for prime minister?
Yeah. Okay. She's not a premier anymore.
But can a former premier do it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that would be a terrifying thought.
There's no reason why not.
But yeah, where was I? I lost my train of thought.
Well, at least then you guys can make bids on whether or not she ends up being worse than what was the last one, Kim Campbell?
Oh God.
Oh, let's go to that real quick. Let's go to that. Did you
So,
catch when
first
she
things
decided to
first,
comment to
first things
Trump?
first.
Oh, hold on.
Just one thing. Just so you know, I used to know a girl, and don't blame her for this one. This is on her teacher, but she goes into psychology courses,
Mhm.
and her teacher's all like, "You're so smart. You're going to be Canada's first prime minister, the female prime minister." And I'm looking at her. I'm like, Siggy, you need to tell your teacher that we've already had one of those, and that your teacher should go back to class.
A lot of people don't. Well, what do you expect? She was prime minister for 9 months. She was appointed, not elected, and she failed to be reelected.
She was bad. She was
When
bad.
she-
We
when
like
she
to
decided to
ignore
come out
her
of
in
the
our
woodwork
history
and
as a conservative. We just kind of like, well, we tried to be progressive.
She attacked Trump a few weeks ago or months ago now.
Yeah, she did.
And all I could say to her was, you were prime minister for 9 months. You didn't do anything. And most of all, you were never reelected. How are you better than Trump?
Yeah, she's kind of a joke in our circles, so she's probably trying to play like you guys. Be like, oh well, I was just they didn't like me because it was female or something, you know. But like the stuff that she said was so ignorant, you know. We don't want to associate with her.
Well, this graphic that we have in front of us is actually a really interesting meme. And Paula, you were saying you were looking at it?
The Simpsons one. Yes.
Yeah. All of this is actually pretty good, except for a couple of them that I actually. The Bahamas vacation was actually on a Princess Private Island. That would be Aga Khan.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That was where the vacation went, in which taxpayers footed that bill.
They sure did.
The $10.5 million to Omar Cotter. We all know about that one.
Yep.
SMC Lavelle. The fake feminist is hilarious because of his firing of Wilson Raybould and the fact that he won't step down fighting against Elizabeth May or allow a female to take the leadership of the Liberal Party.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting enough.
Not to mention the amount of times he was caught manhandling the women in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you see that story from the former Mississauga mayor?
Yep.
Where he was. Polly, did you see that?
No.
Oh, you didn't catch that. Let's see here. He decided that he was going to hug Hurricane Hazel. God, I love that nickname. That woman was very powerful. And if I can get the right photo up, someone actually found the perfect shot of her cringing away.
Oh, is that what that article?
It is him
Trudeau
trying to,
or Hurricane Hazel blows off Trudeau,
Yes.
or is that like?
yeah. Is that in your DMs?
No, I saw it a couple times on Twitter.
Okay.
But
It is a very interesting article because I actually wonder how many more incidences has it been like that. Here it is. So look at that photo of this. This photo kills me. So you ever have someone walk up to you and try to give you a hug around your shoulders and they try to pull you close?
It's.
What?
Oh no, she got it.
Wait, up, down. There we go.
There you go.
Up. No, it's that stupid ad. There we go. So this photo right here is what we're
Guy's just
talking.
like too close.
She's like, that's Hurricane Hazel. She's just sitting there going, "Oh dear, I don't want a kiss from you. I don't know whose anus you've been tonguing."
It's the grip he has on her wrist. It's like, no, you're gonna get over here. It's
like, oh my god! There are a few past skeleton. He is a drama teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't surprise me. Who are the kind of predatorial people in schools? The drama department.
Well, it's
Sorry,
the sketch. It's the sketchy way in which he was let go, like halfway through the school year, and no reasons why. Like, if he had a valid reasons, they would be like, "Well, he left because he had something going on."
See, I had that happen to a teacher when I was in high school. It turns out that hugging your students is a very bad thing, especially when it's only the women that have the big boobs.
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, who knows? We never know. He is the Frenchman. He is from the Valley de Richelieu.
His mom was a whore and his dad was...
But yeah, like we're like there's so many.
That's what you know who was famous for doing this? LBJ, Lyndon Johnson, was famous for shaking someone's hand, and instead of doing what Trump does with like the grab, like and do the manly testosterone, I'm going to dominate you thing, LBJ would lean in and say something horrifying to you, whisper it to you, like I'm going to fucking crush you. Like if you're going into some kind of talks and you're posing for a photo op before you go in. Yeah. And it was just to set the person ill at ease. And when you're like fucking LBJ and you're a very, very tall man and you're harsh and you got that Texan accent and you're known for bearing down on people with your pointing finger and shit. Yeah, that would be like, whoa. Like what a way to walk into a meeting. It's a way of dominating people, right? I'd love to give Justin Trudeau the LBJ treatment. Like shake his hands and lean in and whisper, your mother was a hippie whore.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong, sir. You are not wrong. But yeah, it's there, and just all the amount of news that has been dropping in the last few hours, because we are coming down to the final hours. Like I'll let the polls open in 10 hours, I think,
something like that.
So so who knows what's about to happen? But let's see here, home button.
I'm glad the whole blackface / brownface scandal happened, and happened like as a global awareness, because he is a popular political leader. Talked about, like, you know, cover of Rolling Stone. Why the fuck are you putting a foreign leader? Why can't he be? So you're wishing that he was your political leader. And over in the UK, you know, you got Sargon of Akkad and different people talking about that scandal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just washed away. That coupled with Elizabeth Warren and her fake ass Aboriginal heritage, her fake ass Cherokee heritage. These two things for me are the ultimate coupling of points to make, where so like, well, this person, you know, it's disgusting, they wear blackface and it's racist. Oh, shut up. That's a political talking point against your political enemies and nothing more, and you know it. That's empty. And it's no, it's not empty, it's racist. Yeah, blah blah blah. Do you hate Justin Trudeau for it? Are you going to denounce him? Oh, well, that's different. See what I mean? You're a fucking hypocrite. It's bullshit. It's just a talking point.
It did show a lot of hypocrisy up here of people, because a lot of the people are defending it still, and it's like you look at them and go, what are you defending? Are you defending the blackface, or are you defending the hypocrisy behind it? And like, I don't have an issue with the blackface. I have an issue with the hypocrisy behind it.
My personal thing is this: he's a gregarious kind of guy, to use that word loosely. He's really into drama. He loves costumery. He loves dressing up. That much is obvious.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. When he goes around the world, he loves doing dress up. I've seen him dressed as a British officer from World War II at one point. He loves costumes. Okay. That's all that was going on there. I don't think that there was any kind of racist intent in anything he did, but I don't think there's a lot of racist intent in a lot of the blackface that goes on. I think it's an empty, vapid, hollow talking point to attack your political enemies. It's
the same as the cultural appropriation argument. It's just a reason to bitch.
Yeah. That's what it's like, you know, but if you hold this argument to be true, where it's like, oh, well, you know, we need to have positive advancement. We need affirmative action. It's like, okay, but you voted for and supported Elizabeth Warren, let's say. Voted for her in the primaries. Let's say she makes it through as the nominee. You voted for her in the general election. You're a liar. You're full of shit. Because she appropriated in the worst way possible somebody else's identity. She stole a job from an actual Native American. Stole many jobs, from actual Native Americans for close to 50 years. Mm-hmm. And you don't have a fucking problem with it when she was caught red-handed, pardon the pun.
To find that...
That's actually the part of it that makes me the most mad, is knowing how many people she skipped to do that.
Yeah, like, and that was the weirdest part. To find that someone... It was the same thing with Dolezal and any of these people that do this shit, that get away with it, and they become there's been more than who else has done this that have climbed the top.
Sean King, Rachel Dolezal.
Dolezal's an interesting one too, because she got to a very high point as pretending to be black.
Well, you know. regional director of a chapter of the NAACP. Yeah, I mean, relatively speaking, yes. Did she become rich and powerful off of it? I would argue no. But within her own circle, yeah, relatively speaking, yeah, I would say
She
so.
still had to step on people. She still had to step on the people she was representing to do so, though, which is
I think I had just mentioned Sargon, and I think Carl Benjamin there, Sargon, made an interesting point when talking about Rachel Dolezal and Sean King. And it was just a shitposting stream he did. He goes, this reveals a lot about the so-called white privilege argument. Why would you, if white and possessed privilege, and you were aware of it or unaware of it, but were just a privileged person, why would you masquerade as being someone who's supposedly oppressed unless there was actually a lot of privilege in constantly claiming oppression?
Which Warren has proven time and time and time again.
Exactly. And his point was well taken. I'm like, yeah, you make an interesting argument. You wouldn't masquerade as somebody who's oppressed, and you would realize very quickly that all your privilege was removed from you. Suddenly I'm being treated like garbage. Sean King, Rachel Dolezal, Elizabeth Warren, but they weren't treated worse, were they? They were in fact treated better. Now, I'm not trying to argue that all Black folks in the US have this advantage. It's not what I'm arguing. I'm arguing race hustlers know how to pull the social power grab of claiming oppression.
Yep.
And that's exactly what they did. And that's how they were able to achieve the status that they did. If you take a look at Sean King's publication history, like the articles that he writes, they're all about the cops did this to this Black man, this political opinion that's based upon oppression, social stack, etc. He's not just being Black and receiving an advantage. It's about being a Van Jones style race hustler, in my opinion.
It's true.
It is true. And then and it sucks because you get crap in you have the same kind of crap in Canada. It's just instead of the race stuff, with Justin Trudeau, it's race, but here it's mostly the human rights crap.
Right.
And the the trans rights and
it's the LGBT.
It's
the same exact talking points that you guys are having down there are being parroted up here, and it's really fucking annoying. Everything from the abortion activism to the LGBT rights to the gun control rights
to the Black Lives Matter
to the Antifa
to I almost ran over Extinction Rebellion the other day. So it's.
For the record, the guy on the street who takes the sign away. I don't know if you guys saw that one yet, but he takes it and curls it. Yeah, he was from Edmonton.
Oh, really?
He's from Edmonton. I've been sitting there
I saw that. That guy is pretty fucking spry. He's a blur grabbing that sign, man.
He was pissed.
He's like the guy dressed up as the Hamburglar in the memes that grabs the fucking bag of food when they're driving through the drive-thru at McDonald's. It's just you just see the striped blur run by and the bag of burgers is gone. That was that guy. He just came out of nowhere. It was whoosh, your sign's mine.
Well, the thing is he was in hospital care, trying to get to work. So in his perspective, these guys are preventing him from potentially saving lives.
There was a hospital blocks away too, right? So
yeah.
Oh, I mean, he obviously says you're preventing me trying to get to work. I didn't realize that he was in scrubs or what have you.
No, he was wearing gray scrubs.
Oh, didn't realize that. Okay.
But yeah, it was that was what I saw. First thing I saw, I'm like, damn. And then I heard there was a hospital down the road from it, and it makes perfect sense. Why not? It was the same thing with here. They blocked a main transport route, and I laughed at them and I said, "You guys are gonna get run the fuck over, and you're blocking my way to daycare." So they
let me ask you something while it's up on my screen. I've got the stream.
Take some muscle relaxers anyway, so keep talking.
Okay. Well, we're almost done. We're gonna wrap this up in 11 minutes.
Sure. 11 minutes. I paused the stream when I first joined because I popped out chat, so no reason to have the stream running. But I paused it on Lilly. CBC won't sue liberals. They admit
I have
they're
that
biased.
What? Yeah, Brian Lilly.
Who's Lilly?
Okay, Brian Lilly,
the Canadian Broadcasting Company. Why would they sue the liberals? What's the story there?
Well, you know what? I'm going to hop in the driver's seat real quick and let you people just marvel in my hideousness because I can't read sideways anymore. Hello.
Hello.
All right. So So much for CBC being fair and balanced. That was their motto. That's why I laughed so
really?
much at the Fox News one. Yes.
Just as
the state
believable
broad-
as from Fox. That's, yeah.
Oh, fuck. This is okay. So CBC, Canada Broadcasting Corporation, is one of our big national ones. Same with CTV, Canada TV, which is Bell Media, which is technically all Canadian stuff and all government funded. Money goes into pot.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why the whole thing with when it came down to Trudeau giving, what was it, 585 million or whatever, some stupid number.
Hold on. He gave $500 million to who?
So the government funded. There was a bunch of money given to the CBC and to all the main news outlets. There was a whole hubbub about it. I can't remember. I can't remember how much it was now. I might be mixing up the 585 with something that Jen said the other day.
Ooh,
Jen?
God.
The 585 million. What was that you said on Scribe Stream?
Oh, okay. So that's the 585 million was donated to all of our media, except for the Rebel and the True North guys, which are like an offshoot of the same. So they're trying to claim two things. But
did APN get it? Did the Aboriginal Peoples Network get it too?
I think they did.
That'd be funny.
At least they haven't said no. I think the only other place I can think of, it looks like it's a Buffalo news outlet.
Okay.
But those are the only three that I've seen that are posting clear on news on what's going on. But out of the two, it's the True North guys and the Rebel who've been banned for everything. They had to get a court order to be allowed in to witness the elections and to be allowed to ask questions.
Right.
But it's $65 million that they were given as a handout, but it was done in such a way that he could just take it away.
Okay. Yeah. So that was the whole thing. Oh, good. You're back. You can sit.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to sit in front of the camera. I don't like being in front of the camera.
Ow.
I don't like that. Sorry, you guys don't get to see me anymore.
Actually, I'll be back in just a hot second.
I don't like that camera
right
shit. That's weird.
What?
I don't like being in front of the camera. I'll stick to my being hidden behind the microphone like a special type of Dr. No. Okay, Polly's got to come back for us to finish this. Where he asked about the Lily article. Here, put your earpiece back in. Sorry.
The Lily article is probably going to be the last thing.
Woo, we're both yawning, yeah. Okay, I've been working on a car all day. I'm so pissed. So,
I don't blame you guys. I had a couple tears this afternoon, so my guts are kind of like, ugh.
Well, in working on the car, I found out that I had to go buy a tap and dice from Canadian Tire, and the closest one is 3.5 kilometers away, and I had to walk. That was a nice brisk walk.
It's
been like 20 degrees all day. It's been nice. It's been pretty and warm. Polly, you back yet? Nope. Okay, so let's look at this lawsuit, because this lawsuit thing, I kind of forgot about the lawsuit. State broadcaster, often criticized for being too friendly to Justin Trudeau's Liberal government, slightly, is giving the party a pass once again. It's the 4th time in a week. Presented with more examples of the Liberals using CBC material for partisan videos online. Oh, that's right. CBC's top spokesman still says they will not launch a lawsuit similar to one they launched against the Conservatives last week. Yeah, that's right. It was a copyright bullshit lawsuit.
Yeah, because the Conservatives
fair use.
The Conservatives took, what was it, 8 seconds of debate footage?
Yeah, but they're successful. They're suing the Conservatives, whereas they've decided not to sue the Liberals over doing the exact same bullshit. So it's fair use argument. It was like 17 seconds in total is what the cons used. And all of us on YouTube know that that is not allowed.
Yep.
CBC filed a copyright lawsuit against CPC yesterday. This was on October 11th. Resulting in removal of a campaign video and tweets. Yeah, that's actually the most interesting thing. While CBC considers this an abuse of their material worthy of a lawsuit, when conservatives do the same with liberals, all appears to be forgiven. The Baines, Jolly, and McKenna video came just days after Nirmala Naidu, God, people, the Liberal candidate in Calgary Skyview.
That's a writing.
Yeah, I know it's a riding.
What's the?
Huh?
Why are you sitting there repeating the
Just
name?
trying to think if I know somebody. Was forced to take down online videos that promoted herself using CBC material. Oh. Naidu is a former CBC on-air personality, and the clips she used were of herself.
So that's conflict of interest.
No, she put her own videos up on her own fucking.
No, she's a former CBC.
She's a former CBC personality, and she used clips of herself that on there. They were posted and circulated online starting at the beginning of the election campaign and only taken down last week when conservatives complained about a double standard. Now, Paulie, I don't know if you came back in time, but that double standard has to do with this. They received a letter in federal court because of 17 seconds of footage that the Conservative Party used on their website, in which CBC said, "No, you cannot do that." So they had it removed under copyright. But what the whole thing is the CBC has said, but we're not going to sue the Liberals for doing the exact same thing.
Yeah,
right. Gotcha.
So that's where this whole double standard argument comes from. Where was I? Double standard. Well, what a double standard it is. In a statement from Jennifer Maguire, the head of CBC News, explaining why they were suing the Conservatives, Maguire said it was to protect, quote, our journalistic content and brands from unauthorized use in all circumstances. So we're fucked. So no more using CBC content on this channel.
Apparently not.
We do this at all times, including during past election campaigns when political parties have treated the independence of our work and journalists. This is especially important during an election campaign. Or at least, come on, brain. Or at least it is if the Conservatives are ones using CBC material.
Yeah.
Right.
I've been clear. I think CBC's case is on shaky ground. It is on shaky legal ground because fair use, bitches.
Yeah. And it wasn't a straight upload either. There was.
That's the shot. So this is the deleted video. So obviously it's her. Can we play the video?
It won't play through the.
It won't.
No.
Hi, I'm Nirmala Naidu. So it's basically just a candidate ad. Oh, so this is the clips that they're using. Okay. So she put news clips in of herself.
Yeah.
So all of this is her as an anchor.
And it's just her it's her narrating.
It's her narrating, obviously doing a campaign speech, but I'm trying to tell you that that's the picture. So they've inserted all of this stuff in here from. Yeah, we don't care about that part. So what it is so yeah. So let's see here. I don't see many more of the news clips. So they're hitting her for those little tiny bits in the beginning, or not hitting her for those where they hit CBC in the past. That makes sense now. I'm tired. I had a stripped bushing bolt today. It took me 8 hours to get out, so I'm exhausted. And then
Whoa. What?
Oh, I was doing my control arms on my truck.
Right.
And my, the nice 21-inch or the 21 mil bushing bolt, the big one.
Oh.
It wouldn't come out of the cage nut because
like that big of a bolt. Like, why didn't you just fucking drill it off or fucking cut? Okay, I get it.
Because it's a monster bolt there's no dealerships open to get this $80 bolt back to replace.
Right.
And then I walked a roughly 5 mile round trip to go buy a tap and die set. So
is that what you did? You ended up tapping the inside of the bolt and then putting in a new bolt and then turning it off?
I cleaned up the bolt and it worked.
He got the bolt off.
Finally. I got the bolt off with beating the shit out of it. I actually put a jack stand, the car jack, the shitty car jack. I put one of those in, and it actually was able to clamp the sleeve in place after I put a shit ton of penetrating oil in, and it was able to free it that way with pounding and everything.
Huh.
Oh yeah, it didn't break the bolt. That's what I was scared of, but it stripped the shit out of it.
So you only have the tap and die set to clean the bolt up afterwards.
Well, after I got it out, yeah.
Hmm.
Because it wouldn't go in. There was a gigantic chunk, like it was like welded steel on the bolt, and it was like,
Gotcha.
I gotta clean this off. So it was nice though, $90 for a $200 set. I'll take that.
I wanted a tap and die set for some time, and I've never.
I didn't. I heard Blind's dad draw after she took that. After he brought them back, he goes, "Let me see the new set you bought," because he's a tap and die. He's actually he works for a tool and die company as their tool room guy.
Right.
And he goes, "Yeah, that's the same shit the apprentices buy."
Nice.
So yeah.
So I'm curious, as the show is winding to a close here, does I have money on this election? Does anyone else have money on this election?
I don't have money, but I have a prediction.
Oh,
Okay.
What is your prediction? Well, let's ask them first.
Yeah, Polly, what you said you have money. What's your
What's your gamble on?
Well, somebody who in my department who studies comparative parliamentary politics got
Mhm.
into this discussion with me, and I said, you know what? I'm going to bet on cynicism because he argued that no, the Liberal Party is not going to get enough. This is his parliamentary argument, right? You know what I mean? And he's like, trust me, I know. There's going to be a wash across the country. They're not going to. No, there's going to be no minority government. There's just going to be nothing. And I'm like, well, see, I don't know. And he went into this detailed argument why. And I said, no, I don't know the details, the ground level politics of Canada like you do, but I'm going to bet on cynicism. I'm willing to bet that name carries so much weight in politics, and the ability to dodge the problem with a compliant media is going to work in Canada the same way it works in the United States, the same way it works in Britain. And I think that that's what Trudeau has managed to do from my reading of it and from what I understand. So I bet minority government. And we bet $5 a single round at the bar. That was the idea. It's like one round. That's what we'll bet. Someone's got to pay for the beers. And so, yeah, I'm betting $5 on a minority government for the Liberal Party. And he's betting, no, it's going to be a conservative minority no matter what. There won't be any kind of liberal hold on parliament. And I'm like, okay, I'm betting on cynicism. He's betting on knowledge and experience. So
well, he's looking at it from the polls perspective too, because that's what a lot of the polls are saying too. And a lot of the analysts are kind of going, there's not going to be a majority at all. It's all going to be minorities across the board. And I'm like, no, that ain't going to happen. I'm looking at, we're going to get a conservative majority or with a either a PPC or an NDP
you're going full conservative majority. You think that the electorate is that whipped up?
It's
really
going to swing that hard again.
Whew,
it's done it before. It'll do it again. When shit gets this bad and we're fighting, where if you look back to the original, like I don't have it up anymore, but if you look back to that sheet where he put up, I'm going to add another $1,000 a year. He's counting on the idiot vote. He's not counting on the smart conservatives that are looking at him going, "You're fucking retarded." Hey, buddy who thought they were smart to vote Liberal last time, come here for a second. Let me talk to you.
The thing about Canadians is we tend to have kind of a long fuse with our politicians, but when that fuse ignites, we're like, get the fuck out.
Like, look at Harper. We
Like,
could have got another 4 years of Stephen Harper over Trudeau.
yeah,
we could have.
It took us 12 years, but when we were done with Harper,
you knew. Like everyone knew. Harper. You knew we were all tired.
I looked at some of the lengths of prime ministerialships.
Yeah.
Time in office. I'm not sure what the correct word is there, but it's, oh man, I don't know. Maybe it's an inherent bias.
You start to value your, what is it? Your term limits. You start to value those a little more.
Okay. Two quick things on that before I know I want to actually hear Blind's prediction.
That's fine. We go over. It's okay.
Two quick things on that. Yeah, I start to value the term limits, but it's like I don't think any one person should be in office for that long because it creates it's not just one person, it's one person and their cabinet.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This creates a recalcitrance in government that is just inherently not healthy inside of a representative democracy. And what was his predecessor Harper in for like 9 years? 12. And when I look at some of the lengths of nine of prime ministerial runs, because there's lots of good graphs online, like at Wikipedia and stuff, show you it's like, holy shit, man, this is just a recipe for recalcitrance of governance. I don't know if that's a good idea. And second thing I want to bring up about that, the term limits. Once again, General Washington was the man. Okay, the guy, I always take every opportunity to bring that up. He wasn't a god. He was just the right guy at the right time who made the right calls. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm leaving office after 2 terms. He could have served until the end of his life. Everybody knows that. He was the most trusted man. He was the guy who led them to victory in the revolution, right? He could have served it out, but in his line, as he said, our second election is more important than our first. Because if we can't peacefully transfer power, what the hell are we fighting for? And so he steps down. Adams ends up winning the second presidency. His vice president, which isn't the biggest transfer of power, but no, the idea of, no, you step down after 2 terms. And that pattern held all the way up until Roosevelt. And they were all doing it because that's what Washington did. You do not go for more terms than that because it's just ugly to serve for more than 8 years. It's just not what we should be doing. And I love that the way the presidency is run was patterned by Washington because he thought it was the right way to govern. It's fantastic. And the imperial presidency and ruling by fiat, I'm just going to send out a whole bunch of executive orders and act like I'm a legislator. Washington refused to do that.
Yeah.
And it's only since FDR and on that the fucking imperial presidency and executive overreach has happened. You've got a big fucking famous painting of George Washington in the Oval Office. Stare at it, presidents. Learn from the man. Yeah. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
Jen, what's your prediction?
What do you want? What are you predicting?
So, in terms of my pessimism, I'm going by what the seats I'm seeing right now. Of course, there's the hope that, things will turn out okay. But right now, it's kind of like being in a pincher when you're looking at where BC is, and then you're looking at, the actual seats in Ontario and Quebec and Nova Scotia and the other Maritimes. It just the numbers aren't really there in our favor as much as we'd like. And the thing is without knowing what NDP or the Green Party are going to do.
We know what the Green Party's going to do. They're going to get 5 seats.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be big for them.
They want 12. They're going to get 5.
Yeah. It's just between the other 2 parties, knowing how much room they do have because of the other provinces. Like, I just want to be prepared for that because there's a hell of a lot of hate coming from those groups, and the thing with hate groups is they can surprise you too. So like I it just like I said, from the seatings that I'm seeing that are already confirmed, it really has to do with the turnout tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you guys are gonna do tomorrow. But I'm gonna try and follow everything as much as I can see. But
I'm going with the troll vote. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see PPC just surprise the fuck out of everybody and get some real valid seats. Like they might really
get a stack. But yeah.
If anything, to be a thorn, like for me, I'm not meaning to be bitter, but I would like him to be an absolute thorn in a couple people's assholes right now.
He probably will be, even if he ends up being the third party in, even if he ends up coming in third, he'll probably make things annoying in the House.
What about your prediction? What about yours?
I gave mine.
You did give yours, or
I said that I think it'll be a majority. I think the Liberals will if not come in third, lose party status. I think that Trudeau has pissed that many people off.
Hold on, just so to be clear, Blind, you're saying you think it'll be a majority conservative government because Trudeau. Okay. Well, wouldn't it be? This is something I meant to look up. Fuck. This is why I make lists, like actual physical lists, because I mean to do things and I forget, my mental lists just evaporate. Has there ever been a time in Canadian history where a currently serving prime minister lost in their own congressional district or
In their own riding?
in their own riding? Did they, so they couldn't serve as party leader anymore? Has that ever
Harper
happened?
did
Harper
that.
did it.
Harper lost in his own
Yep,
district?
the last time that the last election, Harper lost. He didn't have to step down or anything. He lost his riding. So
That's wild.
It happens all the time. It really does. It's
I mean, there's
quite...
I do not foresee it happening with, I mean, popularity is popularity. Why would anybody in Trudeau's district not, or riding, not vote for him? Well,
yeah.
I mean, okay, there's going to be some people that are going to be.
He's going to win. He's going to win Richelieu. Like, that's regardless. Gatineau, sorry. I say Richelieu all the time. I say Richelieu for all of that area.
Well, you're wrong.
I don't care. It's Quebec. I
you know how
I
big
probably know
Quebec
more about
is,
Alberta
right?
than I do about Quebec. So,
Okay, but you do know how big Quebec is, right?
They're huge.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
even looking at the
Ontario's
old
bigger.
maps, like the original Quebecois and how much of the U.S. used to be a part of their province is just, yeah. But also, you got to take into account a lot of it isn't really livable, right?
Now, how are the results coming in tomorrow? Like, is there a certain time that the
Tuesday morning?
Tuesday morning, that far, huh?
Yeah, we don't. It's not like it's weird. It has to do with because they're not. We don't have the same kind of problem you guys do, where all the ballots are done through 500 different voting systems.
Mm.
But it's also that, like, we have still ballots in cardboard boxes that have to be hand counted.
Well, also think about it. When the polls close in BC, it's gonna be 11 o'clock here.
Midnight, 9 o'clock they close.
Oh, is it? It's not.
So
8
isn't
o'clock?
there? But isn't it all sewed up by the time that the Quebec votes come in?
No.
Like, meaning like mathematical impossibility at this point.
The last votes are always done in Manitoba.
Yeah.
The polls close at different times in different places?
Yeah. Time zone.
Okay. No, I mean beyond time zone. Like, is there some polls are open until 10 p.m. where in other places are open until 8 p.m.? Is that ever like local time?
I don't know. I'll honestly say I don't know.
I don't know.
But I don't think Elections Canada allows that, because their Elections Canada is actually the body that handles all of this.
Mm-hmm.
I think they all stick to a rather strict regulation with all of it. There's advanced polls that happened like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, specific advanced polls.
There were 2 days where you could go and you could vote ahead of time. And they've gotten some numbers off of that, which is where they're kind of touting some of this everybody's equal right now things. But
now that's really they released the results from the early.
I think unless I'm reading the polls wrong. But yeah,
No, I've heard.
You gotta ask your grandpa. He used to do this stuff.
I've heard people say, numbers from advanced polls suggest that.
So let's see here. Numbers from advanced polls, because I'm a stupid retard.
It's like nobody should consider exit polling from advanced polls to be indicative of anything, because when you look at the relationship between the way the election turns out versus the way the election turns out versus the way that it was polled from exit polls, because they don't release the results from the early polls. Those are secret ballots until election night, right? But you can ask the person on the way out of the place they were voting, how'd you vote? You know what I mean?
I'm not pronouncing your name right. I'm sorry, I'm bad with French. But she's saying it's province-based. They have to be open for 12 hours. So
any
it's 9 to 9,
so any 12 hours, and the times can vary. Fair enough. That makes sense.
Federal election advanced polls show increase in voter turnout. You guys had 587,000 people do the advanced polls. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Good job, Alberta.
We take things very seriously. It's one of those things. We're really friendly, happy-going-lucky, funny people, but we take things really, really seriously, especially when it comes to our livelihoods. Because this is not the first time we've been
didn't help you last. Fort McMurray didn't help last year.
Oh, not at all. They were. Here's the thing, and I know Sora's gonna be like, I know, Jen, don't repeat this, but between our two provinces, a lot of the problem is we have a lot of hippies who don't like cleaning up the forestry out here. because you do bushfires to keep your forest
Yeah.
healthy. They haven't done that in like 30 years.
Oh, great.
So these are things that they don't really tell you, because the hippies in Vancouver are like, well, you shouldn't set things on fire.
Yeah. Hold on a
Except
second.
for
Polly,
weed.
yeah, I screwed that up. It is actually just everyone talking about the numbers of people hitting the polls, hitting the advanced polls.
Okay.
Polly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poll shows Trudeau. Yeah, here it is. Polls show Trudeau could be. Where was it? Yeah, because Global News and CTV are assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Poll shows Trudeau as preferred prime minister. Yeah. At 39-20. Yeah, this is what they're saying. 39 liberal, 27 for sheer conservative, 8%, 8% NDP, 5% green, 1% blue.
Block.
Now, whoever the blue is, and 20%. God damn you, blurry thumbnails. Yeah. So that was the advanced polling.
Well, I think it's really going to just depend on tomorrow. And yeah, we're just gonna have to definitely we're gonna know by Tuesday for sure, but
Unless they have to do free counts.
Like there's never a time when like I get it, they have to count everyone's, but like past a certain point you can call an election in given areas, right? Where
Manitoba.
Yeah.
By the time it hits Manitoba, you pretty much can guess,
mm-hmm.
unless it landslides, which is kind of what happened. Because you see, the problem is BC is a big problem because they're commie.
They're NDP.
So
yeah.
and that's where a lot of the problem is going to lie, especially in this, because that's where all the hippies go, and that's like literally that is where you find the most freedom hating people.
They say they like freedom, but
like I feel bad because like Beard Berrien over there, but he's stuck on an island, so there's nothing you can do with him.
Oh, is that where he is? I never know where the hell that guy's from.
He's a traveler, but he's currently around Vancouver Island, like around the island, or the wilderness islands. What are they?
Okay.
He's got to be like the view he has. If you can ever get a chance to see the view, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, BC's beautiful. Yeah, BC's amazing. So
it's like I wish I could post some of the pictures I took at the cottage this week.
My parents have they had a place, they sold it last year, but they had a place out on the Kootenay Lakes out in BC, and it's just you never are bored when you're out there, because the scenery is always amazing. Like there's always something weird going on, and yeah, it's an amazing province. Like but if you do gardening, it's a pain in the dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
Well, I think Pinkalo and I are fading. So.
Oh, I'm good. No, I know. My Twitter, I'm scrolling through Twitter to check something real quick. Oh. And it pops to Ricky's up close mouth to the camera. And it's just like, dude, please stop.
I appreciate you guys inviting me on. Like the last week, I've just been trying to like keep myself calm, to go out there and just like freak out. And, it was like today I saw my mom, one of my friend's moms at the grocery store, and I went to school with her, so it was one of those things where it's like she was my favorite mom, from a friend, and she's like, "Oh, my daughter's moving, she's going," and I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Well, she's moving back to Ontario, and right now, like because I don't know what's going on, like because we're stuck in this void, I'm just like, I don't know if I'm gonna ever see her again. So I just gave her a hug and started crying, and her mom starts crying, and they're just like, don't worry, we're gonna be fine. I'm like, I know we are, because my family's in Ontario. My grandfather's buried in London, and I have cousins with children in Sarnia. Okay. I have family all across the country.
Don't believe me, I concur in that aspect, trust me.
Yeah.
So like I'm with you guys on that. It's like worst comes to shove, I'm going to be the guy in Alberta who's just doing my best to make sure everyone's all right. And the guy who's like, listen, you know, we do have reasonable people in the rest of Canada. Let's give them a chance to fix what they can fix. And then, you know, we can start our talks again. Because I don't want to lose my heritage either. I don't want to lose the things I'm proud of. And I don't want to lose the people in my life that matter. But I think there's a lot of problems we need to get out, and I think shows like this would really help us.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad you were able to come on, and you too, Polly. It was awesome.
So, Paula, you got
Thank you for having me.
You got to have a couple lost questions. We got a few minutes.
No worries.
You got to have a couple of questions that you've been wanting to ask Canadians. No, nothing.
What was up with burning the fucking White House, man? That was uncalled for.
You stepped on my shoe.
Well, to be fair, both parties in that fight, I believe, were ridiculously drunk. So,
so what? Britain was pressing some American citizens into working on ships. Big deal.
No, my whole thing with is I constantly have to correct people on things. So it's like, I'm just wondering, you're an American. Do you have questions about our healthcare or anything? No? Okay, good.
Not really.
Okay.
Like most socialized medicine, it's like, well, if you go your whole life without ever getting sick, it was a massive drain on your resources and a albacore around your neck that you financially your whole life. And if you do get sick, depending on what sickness you get, it might have well been worth the trouble of it. What I do know is that attempting to install healthcare for Jesus Christ, a third of a billion people is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Like,
well, see,
with America's population and its illegal immigrant population, attempting to install Canadian-style cross-the-board healthcare is a nightmare.
They're trying to pull the whole. We should make it so all non-residents can have healthcare too. And we're all like, go fuck yourselves.
I mean, that's actually a lot of the vote is coming from the immigrants, like because a lot of them they're so confused about what's going on.
Yeah, they just see Orange Man bad.
Yep.
And that's actually a true statement, because the funny thing is we may have 5 different media outlets, but we have like 400 TV channels, all US, including every single US news outlet. Like my TV in my office, I can turn it on and it just goes right to Fox News. My mother is attuned to was attuned to CNN. Now she's a Fox News person. Her mother watches nothing but CNN.
Yep.
So you can imagine how our conversations go.
Yeah, I don't know. News. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard me rant on about this. News is just the fucking worst. Like news entertainers. I say it without hyperbole. They are the biggest problem facing America right now. And people are like, how can you say that? There's wars and there's death and there's so on. It's like, yeah, and those very well might be bigger problems. But how are you to know?
War is nothing but a form of population control.
I just mean, like, the people that are telling you what the problems are muddying the waters of perception so badly. There's no way to tell what's actually a problem and what's actually a concoction of their political leanings. Yeah. Trump Russia comes to mind. They had 3 fucking years on that garbage.
Well, we have to think these politicians up here, like going back to what we're talking about anyway, almost all of them except for Scheer pointed to the states during the debates.
We're gonna stand up to Trump. Stand up to Trump.
Jagmeet Singh in his opener. That was his opener. If you pay attention to the first 3 minutes of the opening of the debate, when Jagmeet Singh does his answer to the first question, the first words out of his mouth is, "We have to defeat Trump." It's just like that's not proper, dude. They're our next door neighbor. They're our friends. Don't be a dick.
And we have no influence in anything that they do. I hate to break it to you.
Oh yeah, it made me sad that I missed that. I saw it. I was screwing around on my computer trying to get the stream going, and during that course of resets, that played, and I was so pissed because I was ranting for like 5 minutes while all my shit was broken.
You know, in terms of like, economically, there's a big thing. I mean, America's largest trading partner is Canada.
Mhm.
I get that, and there lay the influence, right?
Our
So
economies
it's
are
economic
so-
influence that happens subtly over time. A lot of people say, why would Obama even back that guy? And I even heard articles referencing like a bromance. And it's like, you guys, it's a lot more straightforward than that. It's not that hard to fathom. If I was Barack Obama, I would understand it as well. The man was legacy burnishing the entire final year that he was in office. He already had the plans for his presidential library laid down before he entered his final year of his presidency. It was there's a strong legacy thing. And he said, you want to protect my legacy, vote for Hillary Clinton. The 1 month that he went buck crazy on the campaign trail for her in 2016. Now that's all for naught. It's like the Iran deal gone, the Obamacare gone, like all of these things. You know what I mean? One of the things is like, well, continue to Justin Trudeau and the trading relationship and so on that I set up with Canada, at least that will be secure. I get why he did it. There's going to be something left, and he's fighting for those few things to remain from his time, his 8 years in office. And it won't happen with a conservative government in Canada, but it might remain the same with Trudeau.
Look at the screen.
Yeah. Well, that picture goes back to what I was saying before. They should be the talking points that are used so often that they end up being referred to by CNN as an alt-right talking point. Because anything they don't like, that's
look
what they're
who tweeted that.
Who?
Ezra Levant.
Who?
Ezra Levant.
Yeah, he's our Rebel Media. He's the owner of Rebel Media.
Oh, he's the owner of Rebel Media.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, I'm not surprised he tweeted that. But I mean, that picture should be brought up as like, oh, this Republican was caught in blackface. Listen, the governor of Virginia was caught in blackface. Okay. Democrat, though, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, he went to racial sensitivity training and went to rehab for racism.
He went to the death camp of intolerance.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not a problem for him. It's not a problem for Justin Trudeau, but it will be a career destroyer for any Republican. Listen, the mask has slipped. You guys are full of shit.
Yeah.
Because like Barack Obama, an actual black man, is willing to support this guy who wears blackface because it's okay. Yeah, it's okay when people you're politically like-minded with do it, which shows the bullshit that you're basing that fucking argument on, that blackface is bad.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so funny though.
Well, the thing is it's not just them. It's actually a lot of his following are stupid like that. Like, so David Menzies is also part of the Rebel, but like the last interview he did, he's just going around to everyone and asking them really what they feel about the blackface. And he's talking to a bunch of minorities and they're all making excuses. Oh, well, he was in high school when he did it. We're all young and we make mistakes. And, maybe he just wasn't aware. And they're all making all these excuses. And I'm sitting here like, I agree that he might have just been dress up, when he was doing it. But the fact is that he kept doing it, and then you see him going to India, and I'm just like, so he's still doing it. Just because he's not wearing the makeup doesn't mean he's not still doing it. So I had a prediction this year.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of people that I can see going out trick-or-treating in blackface, presenting themselves of Trudeau, is going to be phenomenal. And you know what? They're not going to say anything because, well, you guys supported him when he did it, so why is it wrong when I do it?
Oh, this is true. Except he was young. He was in high school. He was singing Dale.
He was in his early 30s.
Yeah. Except he wasn't.
And
Shh, don't say that.
And I think it is actually explained away quite well. Yeah, he was a drama teacher at a private school. The guy's really into costumery. And you guys need to lighten up on the, as if this is the death knell for anybody doing this, doing Like, you use the N-word, you did this, you did that.
Doing this shit, which is like Stupid. They
My
go after.
point is it only ever seems to destroy careers when a bunch of media people get together and say it was okay for this guy, but not for this guy. Yeah, you're all a bunch of fucking hypocrites.
Exactly. It's sad. Very sad. And on that note, on this Let's Not Be Sad night, because we don't want to have any information on the Clintons.
Hashtag not sad.
Yes.
Polly, thank you so much. Jen, thank you so much for this. I appreciate it. Polly, I'm glad to finally get you on doing something
Yay.
what you and I are talking, because I don't know. You seem to like to string with monkey when I have to sleep. So, if I didn't have to sleep, if it wasn't the fact that I will die if I don't get sleep, literally, I would happily. But yeah.
Yes, thank you for coming out, and thank you, chat, for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and tomorrow we will have, of course, the coffee stream at 12 p.m. Eastern. And I hope everyone will come and watch. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, and we will talk to you all tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
This is the way this show will end.
Have a good night, all.
And
Good night.
broadcast.